Trump has told the truth of his intentions. He would like to take over Gaza, and he's basically going to expel Palestinians. It's the plan. Here it is.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
Put it up full mass. There's an interview that Trump did some time ago where he literally said it would be a great idea to do this. People in the interview thought he was joking, but he was not. He was telling you his true intention. Later in the day, Trump said it was not realistic to have Palestinians return to Gaza. Quote, they have no alternative right now but to leave, Trump told reporters before Netanyahu's arrival. Quote, I mean, they're there because they have no alternative, he said. What do they have? It is a big pile of rubble right now, he added. I don't know how they could want to stay. It's a demolition site. It's a pure demolition site, end quote. Mr. Trump suggested the resettlement of Palestinians would be akin to the New York real estate projects he built his career on. Quote, if we could find the right piece of land or numerous pieces of land and build them some really nice places, with plenty of money in the area, that's for sure, he said, I think that would be a lot better than going back to Gaza, end quote. Another quote, I do see a long-term ownership position for the United States, Mr. Trump said, adding that everybody I've spoken to loves the idea of the United States owning that piece of land. Developing and creating thousands of jobs was something that would be magnificent. Now, in the context of his interview that he did a while back talking about this piece of land, he wanted to make it a tourist attraction. Yeah, that is the reason he said it would be a prime piece of real estate. There's more. So naturally, Hamas rejected this, President Donald Trump's proposal to forcibly remove Gaza's population and bring the territory under U.S. control, condemning the suggestion as, quote, a crime against humanity, end quote, and vowing that they, quote, will not allow these plans to pass, end quote. The official characterized Trump and his plan as a continuation of the previous administration's support for Israel's military campaign, arguing that, quote, no upcoming administration will succeed in achieving forced displacement. The group reiterated its demand for urgent regional and international action to counter what is described as malicious plans and called on the U.S. to ensure Israel implements the terms of the latest ceasefire agreement without procrastination or manipulation. So Trump's special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, told Sean Hannity that they would have a better life not tied to physical space in regards to the Palestinian people moving forward. Here it is.
Gaza today is uninhabitable and will probably be uninhabitable for at least the next 10 to 15 years. That's how much work has to be done there.
Are other countries in the region, Steve, because you have been, deep into the negotiations on all sides, are they willing to step up, help this population, and rebuild the area and demilitarize it?
I think everybody wants to see peace in the region, Sean. And peace in the region means a better life for the Palestinians. A better life is not necessarily tied to the physical space that you're in today. A better life is about a better opportunity, better financial conditions, better aspirations for you and your family. That doesn't occur because you get to pitch a tent in the Gaza Strip.
You should obviously know they truly have no plan. They are not thoughtful human beings, especially when it comes to those who are of a particular hue. Now, he imagines the world's people living in Gaza. Here it is.
Say it, go ahead, please.
Just to follow up on what you were saying about the Gazans leaving Gaza, going to other countries. One, where exactly are you suggesting that they should go? And two, are you saying they should return after it's rebuilt? And if not, who do you envision living there?
I envision world people living there, the world's people. I think you'll make that into an international, unbelievable place. I think the potential in the Gaza Strip is unbelievable. And I think the entire world, representatives from all over the world will be there, and they'll live there. Palestinians also. Palestinians will live there. Many people will live there. But they've tried the other, and they've tried it for decades and decades and decades. It's not going to work. It didn't work. It will never work. And you have to learn from history. History has, you just can't let it keep repeating itself. We have an opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal.
He called it phenomenal. Forced displacement of children, the elderly, those who did nothing in combat. They're not at war with Palestinians, right? All right, Waz, thoughts here.
I gotta say, the gift and the curse of Donald Trump as our president is that the guy just doesn't know what he doesn't know. And so he can come out and quite confidently make all of these grand statements about, no, they're just gonna be ushered into new communities and ingratiate themselves. And they're gonna, the Palestinians are gonna be part of this new thing, as if this isn't part of an existential narrative, not just for the Palestinians, but for the Arab countries surrounding them. Their neighbors in Jordan and in Egypt. Egypt is ruled by, an authoritarian regime. Jordan is ruled by a theocracy. And I think a lot of people make the mistake. And then the third player here is Saudi Arabia, whose Trump's ultimate dream is to bring about the normalization between Israel and the Saudis. I think a lot of people think of these regimes, especially in Saudi Arabia and places like Jordan, where it's like a theocracy, and even Egypt with the sort of authoritarian rule they have there, that these regimes are implacable. Like they could never be removed. They could never be an obstruction to what they're doing. And people don't get it, man. The day that the Jordanians or the Egyptians are the ones that allow for the Israelis to fully push the Palestinians out of Gaza is the day of their eternal ruin as regimes. Their people are deeply opposed to this. Deeply, they just cannot do this because Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu wishes it to be. It's existential for the existence of their regimes. Same thing for the Saudis. We think of MBS as this sort of rule with an iron fist ruler. He can't do it. The clerics, in Saudi Arabian society are still very influential and powerful. And this is a deeply important issue to those people. Okay, it's a deeply important issue to the Saudi Arabian population. This idea that they would lock arms with the Israelis as Palestinians are pushed out and, let's face it, ethnically cleansed from their native lands with the help of these Arab nations. I'm telling you, they cannot do it. It's a non-starter. And they've already said this publicly. It's a non-starter. And the last part that I think Trump doesn't have an appreciation for, I think he has an aversion to wars and problems on TV. And he's like, that is just gonna sink your popularity. Nobody's gonna like that. Like the Palestinians are dedicated These people are willing to die there before they walk off those lands and give the Israelis what they want. So what does that mean? You will forcibly have to move them. You will forcibly have to go in and yank out millions of people by force. And this is gonna play out on TV everywhere on your watch. That's why I think it's just hilarious when Trump's like, all right, he gets a memo from Bibi, he reads it in public, doesn't realize how asinine it is completely, and just says it. But I'm telling you folks, this is almost an impossibility, the way he's envisioning it to happen.